So I have a whole bunch of new knives for us to check out for the first time. Some are from SRM, which is San Remo, and then the other ones are from GFL. Now, I don't know if I've ever featured GFL on the channel before. However, all of these knives are under the same store, which I will have linked down in the description if there's any information I don't mention that you want to know, or if you want to purchase them. So let's check these babies out. So let's check out the 3 SRMs and then we'll move over to the GFLs. This is the SRM 722 and man, it is very smooth. Now I could not find the blade steel on the knife, which is interesting. I could not find it at all, but I did look it up and it's 10CR 15 MOV, which I'm happy with. I like 10CR. It's basically like a VG10, AUS 10, you know, which is a lower mid-grade steel or a top tier budget steel. Very, very ergonomic. Holy cow, is this thing very comfortable. However, it's also extremely lightweight. You know, I can see that they did heavy milling in the liners and they're narrow liners that are inset. Now, because of that, yes, the weight is very light, but it also means you can flex it. Not that big of a deal, you know, as we know, crossbar locks are incredibly strong. So just because, you know, it's very lightweight and flexible doesn't mean that it's a weak knife. This has the potential to be an extremely tough knife. Now, I do feel a little bit of flex if I really try, you know, because of the lightweightness, you know, it's not play, you know, like when I squeeze up here, it's not play. There's no up and down, no side to side, but if I grab back here, I can feel the blade in the handle flexing. Like I said, to me, that doesn't even bother me because it's so ergonomic. You know, the blade is relatively slicey. Actually, it's pretty slicey. Let me just check out the geometry really quick because I'm actually pretty interested in knowing what the behind the edge thickness is. It is 16 thousandths. Very cool. That's what their edge angle. So, you know, it's nice and thin and it's got a nice broad blade, you know, so this is going to be a great slicer. I'll tell you what, it does take some fingerprints though. That is one thing. Nice satin, but man, it takes some fingerprints. Thumb stud action, easy access to the thumb studs. You know, they have this little chamfer around the edge that allows you to get up nice and tight to the thumb stud when you deploy it, which I do appreciate. I hate it when the thumb studs are so tight to the scale and they're hard to get to. These are very easy. The detent's not strong. You know, it's a crossbar lock. It's pretty much, it feels like a conventional crossbar lock, something you get from Benchmade or Hogue or something like that. But it is on bearings, so it is very, very smooth. So that's cool, which also does help with the deployment, you know, to be more of a rapid deployment, but it just doesn't have a, you know, a nice stiff detent. Deep carry clip is reversible. You can see they got a little spot right there. That's cool. The clip looks like it'll work just fine. And, you know, the micarta doesn't seem like bad quality. You know, it's definitely not a premium quality micarta, but I wouldn't expect it to be. The centering is almost on point. I have kind of messed with it though. So, you know, sitting here trying to flex it, and I did tighten the pivot up and things like that just to see what would happen. And yeah, it did slow down the action. So all in all, I like it. I think it's a cool budget knife. I think it'd serve really well on a job site or as a work knife, a camp knife, something like that. You know, these are pretty affordable. And, you know, considering everything, you know, I think it's pretty solid. The sharpening tool and plunge grind could be a little bit better, but, you know, they did give you something to sharpen off, but I wish it was backed up a little bit. Other than that, I really don't have real negatives aside from, you know, I can feel flex and things like that. But, you know, considering how lightweight it is, I understand that. Let's check out the next one. Now the next one is the 255, also in 10CR, 15 MOV. We have the same clip concept, deep carry clip that, you know, is reversible. The blade is a drop point blade with a satin finish. Ooh, very smooth again. Yeah, these are very, very smooth, man. This one has good thumb stud action. Even though they didn't put a chamfer around the edge, you can see it's slightly proud to the scales, which makes this little side part of the thumb stud because it has a really good texture on the thumb stud. So you just get your thumb up to it. Yeah, it launches. That's actually really good. I would look at this normally and say that's horrible. Move that thumb stud away from the scales, but I'll tell you what, it's really easy, like, because it stands out proud. Now, I don't think it's going to stand out proud enough to catch your pants, but I don't know, maybe. You know, it's something I'll have to check out, but, you know, when it's coming out of the pocket, sometimes if thumb studs are proud, they can catch, you know, and basically act as a wave feature. Now, you might be able to do it on purpose, but I don't think it'll probably happen if you're just, you know, taking your knife in and out of your pocket, but there's always a chance. You can see, oh, wow. So, okay, so this is also very lightweight. It's another thing I noticed right away. This thing feels like a paperweight, or like it's just made of paper, like it's super, super light. Well, the reason why is because it's just G10. The liners are very small, and they're just right here. So it makes it to where, you know, you just have this little capsule right here of thin steel liners, and then the rest is G10. So it allows it to be extremely, extremely lightweight. They did a good job with the lightweightness. This one does not have nowhere near as much flex, though. It is much more solid. Yeah. The crossbar lock is easy to get to. Man, those thumb stud action is really good. Very comfortable in the hand. You know, for a medium-sized knife, this is a very comfortable knife. Yeah, this is pretty cool too. I like it. And, you know, again, I like the blade steel. I love the neutral handle. This is definitely something, you know, you can pretty much do whatever with. And because it's, you know, the size it is, you know, it'll be really good in the pinch grips. So, yeah, this one's pretty cool too. Now, the next SRM and the last SRM is the 1902. Now, I've seen this one around. I don't think I've ever tried it. But I love a good hole deployment, and I'll say, you know, it's decent. You know, their D10 strengths aren't really strong, so, you know, there is that, but, you know, it's similar to like a Benchmade or something, you know, a great reverse flick. The handle does have this little peaked up area, and by the way, this one's 10 CR 15 MOV as well. We'll get to the blade in a second, but the handle has this little peak right here. So, you know, you can kind of trigger pull that area right there, or you can move up. I do feel that area, but it's not bad. Maybe in like long-term cutting, I notice when I trigger pull it, it's pretty comfortable back here. When I scoot up, that's when I land on it. But I don't think it'll be a horrible thing. I don't think it's going to drive anybody absolutely crazy. But, you know, that will be determined, you know. We do have a G10 backspacer with a lanyard, and then we have a deep carry clip that is reversible. Now, as far as the blade goes, we have a trailing point. Now, to be honest, I'm not a huge trailing point fan. Granted, I like them. I do think they serve a purpose. The purpose, in my opinion, would be for skinning, hunting, fishing, and self-defense. You know, things like that, because it has this belly. You know, for that, it does have a piercing tip, but the piercing tip is more piercing for this way rather than for utility cuts, which I think is more EDC-able, you know, because a lot of things that you do with an EDC knife has to do with the tip. However, the beautiful thing is this belly, you can really bear down onto something like, say, a rope. If you have to cut a rope really fast, that belly will serve you very well. Now, the handle is G10. No flex. It does have steel liners, but it's only on the back half right here. It's like a little back strap that's inset. So that's pretty cool. Very lightweight again. This one is very solid. So this one does not have any flex. You know, G10 is probably just the G10 because my Micarta is a lot more flexible than G10. So, but anyways, yeah, pretty damn cool. I think these are pretty good quality. I have had some SRMs on the channel in the past, and I've always been impressed with them. They've always been good quality, and, you know, especially for the money. So very, very cool. Now, let's check out some of these GFL knives. So the GFL knife is the Fast Eddie, which I love the name because I actually have a Fast Eddie in my family. So I have a guy named Fast Eddie in my family, so that's pretty cool. Now, the first thing I notice right off the bat is this detent. Listen to this. You can hear that thing suck the blade back in. It's very loud, and you can feel it. Solid detent. I do like the detent. I'll tell you what, it does feel tight in the pivot, though. I can possibly adjust that, but it is on bearings. But, yeah, it's pretty stiff in the pivot. Not like, you know, obnoxiously stiff. You know, it's still nice and smooth. I'm just saying it's not drop shutty, you know. But that damn detent, holy cow. Good access to the lock bar. The blade steel on this is 10CR15 MOV as well. We have a deep carry inset clip with flat screws, but it is not reversible. Liners, only one liner on this side. This side does not have liner, so it does help bring down the weight. The flipper tab's nice and comfortable. It is a compact, small knife. So, you know, I do like larger knives a little bit more than this size, but a lot of people like this size of knife. And, you know, it's a cool little budget knife. Let's actually, while we're checking this one out, because the next one is another fast eddy, but it's a titanium fast eddy. So it does still have steel liners. This one's much smoother, I'll tell you that. And the blade steel on this one's VG10. So basically the same thing, basically the same steel. This one has micro milling on it though, as you can see, which does kind of play with the light a little bit, but it's very fine micro milling. It's not super deep. They're very close together. We do have a budget deep carry clip, not reversible, good access to the lock bar. So the one thing I'll say on this one right off the bat that kind of stands out to me right away is the clip. I wish the clip was a premium clip, or at least looked a little bit more premium, because being a titanium knife, you know, you already have titanium scales, you know, the budget clip just makes it kind of budget looking, but it's fine, you know, it's not a big deal. A lot of people won't complain about that because as long as the clip works, that's all they care about. But, you know, a lot of people do care. So anyways, the blade is, you know, a nice drop point blade, both of them. You know, it's relatively, ooh, nice edge, very, very good edge. Seems, you know, relatively slicey. So it's not super thick behind the edge or anything like that. Like I said, good access to the lock bar, nice snappy action. It's a simple knife, you know, there's not much to say about it. It's super simple, it's small, compact. The only complaint I can really have is sharpening tool and plunge grind could be better. You know, they need to move back the end of the plunge grind so that you have something to sharpen off. You will get a smile when you sharpen this. Will it matter at this price point? I don't know, maybe not, but okay, so one negative I do have on these models is these two right here in particular, or at least this one, I think is a bit overpriced. They're asking $69.99. I think that's a bit pricey for this model. You know, you got to think, you know, because I'm looking at the price market of its competition, and this just, you know, comparing it to other $70 affordable knives, you know, this feels like more like a $50 knife, you know. And then this one being $109. I understand it's titanium, but it's still only VG10 steel. So, you know, I don't see $109. I don't see over $100. I see about $80, $70, $80 here. Personally, like you can even look at like Kubi does titanium frame locks, full titanium frame locks with micro milling and 14C28N for $100. So, you know, just I'm used to, you know, with SRM, you know, they've done a lot of knives in the past, you know, that were extremely well done prices. But as far as the GFL knives, you know, that to me personally, I think they're a little bit overpriced. Now, if I can find a discount code or something, I will put it down in the description. But, you know, it still is a thing. And then my other thing, you know, with this one would be the clip. With this one, I don't mind so much because it's G10, but, you know, still. And, you know, even with G10, sometimes having a, you know, a nice looking clip can make a knife just look that much more cleaner and premium, you know, yada, yada. But anyways, there you guys go. Quick look at some new knives. Like I said, everything will be linked down in the description if you guys want to check these guys out. They do have a few more things on their site, I believe. The site I'm going to link is Gear for Life. So check them out down in the description. And yeah, work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.